to Artist in Recovery. Morning, Darryl P. What's going on? It's 2:55 in the morning, West Coast time on a Friday, the 27th of September, 2024. Mr. Weaver Johnson of Roseman, California. What's going on, dude? Yeah, I caught your video this morning concerning about the bar and everything else going on. Colorful cast of characters, aren't they? I was just doing a deep, little bit of a surface dive. Roseanne Barr always had this thing going on with her, and I try not to tear people's lives apart, especially if they've got some issues that keeps being put into the media all the time. Only because if you can't get positive attention, as my mother would say, you get negative attention, and it usually helps. And then when you get negative attention, you build your rep more and more. Well, this is building a rep more and more. Looking at a Wikipedia on Miss Barr. Oh, yeah. There was one time you even forgot that there was a World Series, or actually a baseball game that she went, and she was going to sing the national anthem, and she really loved being a comedian. Doesn't matter if she was a bad one or not. It was subjective anyway. She screwed up the national anthem so damn badly. She spat at the end of it, and she thought it was funny. And I tell you, there was a lot of Americans out there who were very disappointed. Is the understated word. Any understated thoughts on this one here, pal? Why? Ego. Ego. Live so much on the dancing, you're addicted to the dancing. What is it we keep saying, edging God out in the 12-step halls? You live on the ego so much, you're dependent upon the dancing. And people like Trump and the cults out there who feel like they're underrepresented because people don't know them like the other person does. Yeah, that's true. Because unfortunately, there's this attitude some of us actually have. I suppose I've kept showing it to myself. Growing up, I didn't see this happen, and not at all. I saw people having political debates concerning about issues. Well, isn't that the thing we were taught in our school systems? You have debates, but you don't attack people personally. It's gotten worse over the decades. I don't know where and when it started, but the only thing I know is every time I'm studying more and more about how politics is happening. Politics is a messy game. Even Aristotle was writing about it. Art of politics. Democracy isn't one of those easiest governments out there. It's easy for some people, yeah, because we depended upon the vote to get the issues voted, agreed upon, argued about, and then argued some more about it, unless we all have a consensus about what the thing is, or maybe not, but we'll get a majority vote. Easily corruptible. But we're also talking about the depending upon the individual person and the ego of the person and collective ego. Why we see the cult of Donald Trump, the damn thing's been there for a while. We just had to put a label on the damn thing. But Trump's taking advantage of it. Why? Because he's a con man. He's a salesman. Who was raised by a father, who was raised by the grandfather, probably so forth down the road, and how to lie, cheat, and steal from people. It's built into genetics. Even although we through grandsons and grandchildren. Future generations are going to be taught this thing altogether. They're not going to be taught the same way like we had a long time ago. No, they feel like they're more elite than anybody else, so they will control it. and they will control people because this is what they do, this is what they're taught. And the other people will believe it because they don't want to think or believe anything else. But what somebody's going to tell them, politics, yeah, they'll listen to it. They'll listen to the people talking about blame this one because you have to. They won't just say because I say so, because you have to. This is your livelihood. This isn't giving the sales spiel in this one. And the people eat it up because they got no one else to blame. They're disgruntled. They're underrepresented, they feel. Nobody's listening to them. Nobody cares about them. And naturally, it's feeding upon each other. You look at it from an outside point of view, and it's probably an elitist point of view because you're looking at them like, head down there, past the nose, just looking at them. Oh, dear, who the hell do you think you guys are? I guess that's the attitude about elitism, but also looking as an observer, just seeing how the people are tearing themselves apart and looking at the observers and say, blame him for it because he's the one causing all our problems. Gang bile, dog pile on you. It's not my problem. It is now. You're the one causing me all this problem. Because you cannot take responsibility, accountability, or anything else for it. No, it's your fault. Okay, my fault that your health is deteriorating. My fault is you didn't go to school. My fault for the decisions and choices you made or had to make. Yeah. Bite me. Bite me. You see, I am not in a position. I am not putting myself in a position of saying that it's my fault. I'm saying you can't, if you can't take responsibility for your stupidity, if you can't take transparency for what's going on around you, you can't, if you think you can't be held accountable because you think you're higher above everything else, I hate to tell you, asshole, but what fantasy land have you been living in for a hell of a long while? You see, in the country, we have laws, rules, regulations voted on by either the peoples of different states or, yeah, by other elected officials making laws. And the thing is, with some of those elected officials, you guys are supposed to be voting them in who are supposed to be representing your best interests. But if they're doing it for their best interests, well, then you guys got to fix the shit now, don't you? Legally, hopefully. But no, you decided to listen to a gas bag and thinking elections are false, and therefore you have to screw up everything else that we actually have for over 240 something years going on. But hey, knock yourselves out. Law will bury your ass. As for people like Roseanne Barr, she lives wherever the hell her brain is at. And people like her. Carlson likes it because he's getting a kick out of the damn thing. I'm surprised he hadn't been divorced yet. Unless, of course, his family's the same way. Yeah, that's a hell of an attack right there, isn't it? When you look at Roseanne Barr and people are talking about her, well, they're going to be talking about her because this is what she wants. She's getting attention. You have a kid spoiled like crazy. If he's screaming and yelling and you can't give him enough positive attention or give him any attention at all, the kid will do some stuff that gets rotten attention. But he's getting attention. And the other people, they're getting attention. Now they think they got empowered by it. Now they think they can run the world until the world tells them, ha ha. So what are you going to do? Tear each other apart? Basically, cockroaches. I did say the word cockroaches, didn't I? But how else are you going to say it anyway? They feast upon each other if they can't get the food necessary. They'll eat on each other. I know. I've seen the results of the damn thing all the damn time. But yeah, it's nasty having this kind of stuff, isn't it? You're wondering and you're scared about these people. I'm not going to give them the fear. They want the negative attention that bad. And they're willing to destruct everything else because they want to change. They just don't. They don't give a shit about it. Or you, or me, or anybody else for that matter. They're going to say what they're going to say. They're going to do what they're going to do. Because that's them. Not you. I'm not going to live in fear from these bastards. They want to come after me. There's my front door. I keep showing people where I live on Google Maps. I don't see anybody coming over to my front door. I don't see them leering at me saying, I'm a Trump supporter. So, what else is new? Fear me. Bite me. You have to fear me. No, I don't have to fear you. I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to like you. But I don't have to hate you either. Because that's what you want. You're like a spoiled brat. You can't do anything in your life except be a distraction for people. You want to show people that you're tougher and more powerful than anybody else until you get some other kind of bully that comes over to you and starts beating you up. But it won't be me because I'll be off to the side observing all. And I'm not the one sending them over to you. You're the one that did the traction. Now you got to deal with the price. Populism, dude. Populism. We've had it before. We've had it a lot of times. But the populists who vote their demigod into office usually gets things screwed over. History. So I keep telling people, history, history, history. But they don't listen. They don't want to listen. Because we're always showing our own actions here. We're always showing how we screwed things up left and right. And how is it not? Said before, we don't take accountability, transparency, or responsibility. These are the things I even learned in the 12-step program. On how to get myself clean and sober. Basically, how to get myself sober and also making amends left and right. Because I have to look at my side of the street. I have to look at the stuff I screwed up on. And if I have anything to deal with the situation, I have to make amends for it. But if it's not on me, then I don't have to worry about it. Except for the stuff I keep screwing up on. I'm human. I'm expected to. I'm expected to screw things up. Why? Because it is. I have to deal with it. There's a lot of personal decisions we make that dictate the choices of our lives. And we don't want to acknowledge that because we have to blame everybody else for it. We have to blame the stranger coming over here for issues. Christian nationalists that we got going on, or the theoretical Christian nationalist shit, it's just bully. It's just bully. People that depended and leaned upon religion because they thought and felt that these guys, these leaders, are speaking from God and God tells them to do this thing and they're very willing to do this shit. I'm going to say if God's going to be that powerful enough to do this shit to us, I'm not worshiping his ass. But if I know that there is a power greater than myself going to restore me to center, if I know that there is a power that is God, would he want this thing for his creations, for his children? No. But we're doing it because we don't know anything else. We've got our history showing the stuff we don't learn. We don't want to learn. We want to blame. We want to complain. We want to point the fingers because we don't want to get our hands dirty in doing things to get things done. But if we do happen to do this thing, it's usually violent as hell. We can't get our act together. And then we still blame the other guy. Why not? He's convenient. He's a scapegoat. My life sucks, so let's make his life suck. Let's hate the other guy because it's so easy. It's so convenient to do so. It's convenient. My life sucks right now. My life is crushed because of forces beyond me. So I don't know what else I can do about it. You feel the powerless at that point. You feel the fear that everything is crushing on you and you can't do anything about it. You have to find something to blame it on. You just can't say, okay, fuck it. Now what do I do? But if I can't do anything, there's got to be something I can do. Look at the other guy and say, it's your fault. Why is it my fault? Because it is your fault. Because I say so. I'm going through shit. You're not going through shit. How dare you? It's your fault. You can't say that about me. I just did. Deal with it. Not my fault. I was never near you. That's the problem. You were never there for me, were you? So it's all your fault. In my own personal defense for myself here. Yeah, I make these characterizations. Yeah, I make these observations. And yet there was a lot of things in my life that either forced by others or not. Decisions I'm making right now are a detriment to my life, my health, my sanity. I have to recognize it. I have to acknowledge it. Do I have to accept it? Some courses are way too late to change. But I still move forward. Why? Because that's the only way. I don't allow anybody else to screw me over one way or another. I have become distrustful of a lot of people that I don't trust as much. And if I do, I'm probably searching for that whatever it is I can't define to help support me as I'm struggling along. It's as if I'm trying to support myself on an unnamed, undeclared item to get me through because I feel inside I am weak. I lack power. I lack conviction. I lack knowledge. I lack. Some people think I'm a guru. I'm not a guru. I'm going through my own personal crap as it is. I've seen the mistakes I've made, but also there's a lot more mistakes either I made that I hadn't seen yet or acknowledged yet. And I still got to get into that. I still have to tear these things apart. It's a constant reflection. It's a constant process in staying sane, sober, and alive. But we're just not doing it right, are we? We're not. You've been in recovery, but have you ever walked the steps? Have you ever done the steps? When I got into the program, I dragged myself into it. Originally, getting through the initiations of it was a pain in the ass. I didn't want to acknowledge it. I didn't want to tell people that I had a problem because I didn't know I had a problem. I didn't care. Leave me the hell alone. I'm here to support my brother. That was it. That's like telling people. Leave me alone. I'm not here for you. But you know what? I was jealous and envious of it. I was jealous and envious about my brother getting that kind of attention because he was getting into recovery. He was already going through a hell of a lot of crap as it is. I'd seen him go through hell in a handbasket. I wanted to toss him back into the streets even though I loved his ass. I just hate seeing him to being the person that he was. A guy in pain, full of problems, full of issues that he couldn't control. but they were controlling him a great deal. But decisions he made on how to deal with it, well, weren't exactly well thought out or even prayed over. Even though my brother did go to church. Was he a religious believer in God? I don't know. I never did ask that about him a long time ago. I never did, because I wasn't quite sure what the hell he was doing, who and what he was, except he was my big brother, he was my protector. Despite the fact I had to be born with problems that put me into that situation. But, deal with that. There was a lot of things I couldn't deal with. I mean, there was a lot of things I could go back in my past and try to nitpick like crazy that will put me into the position where I am right now, even as I record. And yeah, things I had blamed, and entities I blamed. And I blamed it out of fear, ignorance, arrogance, indifference. When I was in the 12-step halls, learning it for the first time in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, I didn't understand. I couldn't grasp it until it was ready for me to grasp it. Don't ask me when, why, how it works. It just works that way. I just learned to accept it, live with it, deal with it. People use religion as an excuse for their behaviors because they'll blame it on powers that be, but they are the physical actions. They're the ones doing the shots on this one. I'm not blaming God for anything and everything. God has his own purpose. And if it is his purpose for me to do things free willy, fine. If not, and he's got control over the thing, I won't recognize it. I won't recognize it at all. I just deal with it. I just cope with it. I just do it. And then afterwards, we'll see the results. I am trying to understand and learn more about what a power greater than myself means to me. I mean, I can keep repeating the book over and over again as a mantra. And 12 and 12 traditions, 12 steps, 12 traditions, I call it the 12 and 12. We use these things as a tool to pull out, read on it, read about it, and to use them as a moral compass. The things I learn and the things I do. Now, I have to be holding myself accountable, transparent, and responsible. I have to. On every damn videos I put out there, on everything I do, I have to be. I have to hold myself in that esteem. I have to be humbled and humiliated by the damn thing. I have to understand my portion of it, even if I may not like it or understand it. You say that you're trying to figure the Trump clan out. They don't want to. They want to put it on somebody else's shoulders because they are afraid. They chose not to. They think they're not worthy. They are worthy. The problem is their vision of a worth and someone else's vision of a worth is different altogether. They chose. They make the decisions based upon their own perceptions and whatever they're going to learn about, whatever they're going to observe at this point over here. And yeah, they'll be causing problems for everybody else because they don't give a shit. That's the problem. I don't worry about the Roseanne Barrs of the world because they're already screwed up in the head anyway. They feed upon the ego. I have to make sure my street, my side is clear of it. I have to worry about my own damn ego at work. I don't want it at work. So I have to be reminded. There are different philosophies I was learning a long time ago. Not properly, but elements of a thing. I haven't given myself fully to any kind of philosophy out there that I could study a lifetime on. A smattering here, a smattering here, a smattering there, watching, looking, observing. And then sometimes the experimentation sucks. And then I see the results and I have to say, oh shit, now what? But this is how it is, Darryl. They chose. They chose. Whatever kind of measure that they're using to make that kind of decision, to be that kind of a person, it's on them. They want to be this way, let them be this way. They want to scream and yell it's everyone else's fault, they're going to. And it's the other people who are in the same line or the same mental state as they are. They'll agree to it. Here comes the populist. And then you'll have a guy who's screaming out, I will be a leader because I think I know better. Follow me. And he wants more of it. And we call it the Trump. And we're going to be following this guy. Or, I'm not. Are you? Didn't think so. So, I got a reverend that thinks I'm profound. Said, no, I've lived too damn long. I've seen guys live longer than me and become so damn disillusioned with everybody else that they start listening and believing in everyone else's crap and thinking that they're going to be leading them on because they don't know what else to do. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't. My grandmother was never that way, but then again, she was a strong-willed woman until a stroke took her out. My mother was also strong-willed as well until her heart was broken. She lost too many people in her life. She couldn't keep it together, so she had her two boys to lean upon. Dave was struggling like crazy until his body started failing because of decisions he's made and decisions made for him. His heart was also broken because we depended upon Ma, and she depended upon us. I am a broken man because I depended upon everybody, and I got backstabbed too many damn times. So I don't trust as much unless my guts are telling me that somehow there's going to be other forces out there, other people I could put temporary trust into, but there's got to be something ultimate out there that I can still put a faith and trust in, which would lead me to whoever I need to have faith and trust in for a short time. Dude, I've had families who backstabbed me. I've had so-called friends backstab me. As much as I'd love to have a hell of a lot of anger and hatred towards them on this, I still have it, and I still got to get worked. It still has to be worked on. I don't trust as much. I don't have faith in someone else's word all that much. Unless, of course, I'm hearing something that I'm resonating with, and I can say, okay, I get it. I feel it. They don't want to. They want to be a cult, let them be a cult. They're going to say that they got the power. I've got finger gestures I can make, and I can also make this kind of expression here. You got power over me, asshole. Let's dance. Let's dance.